Hi, everyone. So you're about to be the happiest you've ever been. You didn't stumble here by chance. Something inside you may be quietly shifting right now, even if you can't fully name it yet. There's a lightness that might be trying to reach you, a warmth that feels different from what you've carried before. And what I'm sensing in this moment is that you could be standing at the edge of something genuinely beautiful, not because the universe owes you anything, not because suffering has a time limit, but because you may have been doing the inner work without even realizing it. You might have been releasing old patterns, letting go of what no longer serves you, and creating space for something softer to enter your life. If you've been feeling like you're waiting for permission to be happy, this might be your gentle reminder that permission can only come from within. Let me share what I'm picking up on in the energy around you right now. There's a possibility that you've been holding yourself back from full joy because part of you doesn't trust it yet. Maybe happiness has felt conditional in the past. Maybe it came with strings attached, or it was taken away just when you started to believe in it. So you learn to protect yourself by keeping your expectations low, by bracing for disappointment, by never fully relaxing into the good moments. That guarded part of you makes sense. It's been trying to keep you safe. But what I'm sensing now is that you may be entering a phase where safety doesn't have to mean smallness anymore, where protecting your peace doesn't require you to dim your light. You might be discovering that you can be open and still be wise, hopeful and still be grounded. This shift isn't necessarily coming from external circumstances, though those might change too. This is deeper. This feels like an internal alignment that could be happening beneath the surface of your daily life. You might notice it in small ways at first. A moment where you catch yourself smiling for no particular reason. A conversation that leaves you feeling lighter instead of drained. A morning where you wake up and the heaviness you've been carrying feels just a little bit less. These aren't accidents. These could be signs that your energy is recalibrating towards something that truly matches who you're becoming. Type yes if you've been feeling these subtle shifts. Now, let me talk about what this happiness might actually look like for you, because I don't think it's what you've been taught to expect. It's possible that the happiness coming toward you won't be loud or dramatic. It might not look like the highlight reel you see on social media. It could be quieter than that, more intimate, more real. It might look like finally feeling comfortable in your own presence, like not needing to fill every silence with distraction, like being able to sit with yourself and actually enjoy the company. It could show up as boundaries that no longer feel like battles, as relationships that don't require you to twist yourself into someone you're not, as connections where you can be fully seen and still feel safe. You may find happiness in releasing the need to prove yourself, in letting go of timelines that were never yours to begin with, in trusting that your path doesn't have to look like anyone else's to be valid and beautiful. What I'm sensing is that you might be moving away from happiness as a destination and toward happiness as a way of being, not something you chase, but something you cultivate, not something you earn, but something you allow. And if that feels unfamiliar, if part of you wants to reject it because it seems too simple, that's okay. You don't have to force anything. You can just notice what's emerging and let yourself be curious about it. There's also something important coming through about worthiness. You may have been carrying a belief that you need to suffer a certain amount before you deserve to feel good. That happiness has to be balanced with hardship. That if things are going well, you should brace yourself for the other shoe to drop. These beliefs might be so deeply embedded that you don't even recognize them as beliefs anymore. They just feel like reality. But what if they're not? What if you've been operating from a story that was never true? It's possible that you're being invited now to release that old narrative, to recognize that your worthiness isn't something you earn through struggle. It's something you already possess simply by existing. The happiness that may be emerging for you could be rooted in this truth, not in getting everything you want, but in realizing you've always been enough exactly as you are. This doesn't mean challenges will disappear. It doesn't mean life will suddenly become effortless, but it might mean that you start to move through difficulties with more grace, more self-compassion, more trust in your own resilience. You might find that happiness and hardship can actually coexist, that you can hold both joy and grief, that life doesn't have to be perfect for you to feel genuinely good. Comment clarity if you're ready to release old stories about what you deserve. Let me also touch on the relationships and connections that could be reflecting this shift back to you. As your energy changes, the people around you might respond in different ways. Some may celebrate this lighter version of you. Others might feel uncomfortable with it, especially if they've gotten used to you playing small or carrying their emotional weight. You could notice that certain relationships naturally start to fade, not because of conflict or drama, but simply because you're no longer vibrating at the same frequency. And while this might bring up some grief, there's also a possibility that you'll feel relief underneath it. At the same time, you may begin attracting connections that actually nourish you, people who meet you where you are, who don't need you to dim your light to make them comfortable. Who can hold space for your joy without trying to diminish it or make it about themselves? If you've been in a romantic connection that's felt stuck or uncertain, this energy shift could create movement there too. Not necessarily in the form of grand gestures or sudden declarations, but in the form of deeper honesty, clearer communication, and a willingness to show up more authentically. Or, if you've been alone and wondering when love will find you, this period might be preparing you to receive it differently, not from a place of lack or desperation, but from a place of fullness. Not because you need someone to complete you, but because you're ready to share the completeness you've been building within yourself. Either way, what I'm sensing is that the love you experience moving forward could feel more aligned with who you actually are, not who you think you should be. And that alignment is where real happiness lives. Now, I want to address something that might be coming up for you as you take this in. Part of you might be skeptical. Part of you might be thinking, I heard this before. I've hoped before. And I've been disappointed before. That's valid. Your skepticism has probably protected you in the past. But I'm not asking you to abandon your discernment. I'm not asking you to blindly believe that everything will magically work out. What I am suggesting is that you might consider staying open to the possibility that things could be different this time. That the work you've been doing, the healing you've been moving through, the growth you've been experiencing, it might actually be leading somewhere good. You don't have to know exactly how it will unfold. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You can simply allow yourself to be present with what is without needing to control or predict what's coming. Because here's what I'm picking up on most strongly. The happiness that may be emerging for you isn't fragile. It's not dependent on everything going perfectly. It's rooted in something deeper than circumstances. It's rooted in your relationship with yourself, in your capacity to come home to your own heart again and again, no matter what's happening around you. And that's the kind of happiness that might actually last. Type alignment if you feel ready to trust this process. As we move toward closing this message, I want to leave you with a few gentle reminders. You don't have to rush this. You don't have to force anything into being. Happiness doesn't have a deadline. You're allowed to move at your own pace, to take up space, to change your mind, to honor what feels true for you in each moment, even if it contradicts what felt true yesterday. You're allowed to protect your energy while still staying open to possibility, to set boundaries while still being loving, to prioritize yourself while still being kind to others. And most importantly, you're allowed to be happy without guilt, without apology, without needing to explain or justify it to anyone. If you've been waiting for a sign that it's okay to let go of the heaviness and step into something lighter, maybe this is it. Not because I'm telling you it's your time, but because something inside you already knows. You've been carrying so much for so long. You've been strong in ways that no one sees. You've been brave in ways that don't get celebrated. And now you might be entering a season where strength looks like softness, where bravery looks like vulnerability, where growth looks like rest. Take what resonates from this message, leave what doesn't. Trust your own inner knowing above anything I or anyone else could tell you. You remain in full control of your path. You get to decide what happiness means for you. You get to define what a fulfilling life looks like on your terms. And whatever you choose, wherever you go from here, I hope you carry with you this truth. You are worthy of every beautiful thing you've been hoping for. Not someday, not after you've proven yourself one more time, not when you finally get it all right now, exactly as you are. With all your imperfections and uncertainties and unfinished edges, you are worthy, and the happiness you've been seeking might already be closer than you think, quietly waiting for you to open the door and let it in. May you feel held. May you feel seen. May you feel free to be exactly who you are. And may you discover, in your own time and in your own way, that the happiest version of you has been here all along, just waiting for permission to emerge. Trust yourself, honor your journey, and remember that you are never walking this path alone.